Hola, hola. Hola. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Hi,
We
how are
are
you? And the
in
third
the,
and 11. Oh my gosh, time's going so fast. We're today in the 11
yeah,
pillars. It's a green pillar, one of the best pillar that everybody looking forward to have. It's the clean energy, alternative source of energy. It's the clean energy. We call it green energy as well, and especially we use it in all forms, not only on transportation. We use it in all forms these days, in the house, in the supply, and all the appliance that can be done as a green energy as well, trying to maintain more source of energy for the earth and be more friendly with it. So stay tuned. We're gonna have a lot of great stuff to show, and welcome for the 13 pillar society of peace.
yeah, we are again. We are almost at the end in the 13 Pillar
Oh
Society.
gosh, I
11
know.
today. Next week we will do 12 for economy and then 13 personal development
Wow, two
or
more to go.
internal
Only
growth.
two more to go. Yes, yes. Um,
And then we
so
promise we will do a book because that's a lot of material and that's the society we really want. So it's good to know where we go, what we aim at. And that way, it's another thing we want
and
to do with this program. This is going to be the
you wouldn't
base of
imagine.
the curricula of the university. It's called
Absolutely.
multi-U or
Yes.
multi-university, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 for peace. So really, this program is extremely important. And today's program is very important because we try to explore all the new source of energy and all the alternative we have these days. And it's a lot. It's a lot. Actually, we were still Googling and looking all over the place like a couple of minutes before the program and finding more and more ideas, invention, research all around the world. People are concerned that they know we can't go anymore with a fossil fuel. That's not sustainable. That's destroying everything. That's causing war. I mean, this thing about energy was really mixed up. So stay tuned. We have a lot of videos. We have a PowerPoint. We have all the explanation of Kausar. What do we do next, Kausar? How was your internet today?
Oh, great. Thanks, God.
Yeah. I remind you, Kausar is in Lebanon. I am in Bolivia. And somewhere
And most of us are all over the
is
place.
Giovanna from Bolivia, USA. And sometimes we overlap. Apologize when we overlap talking. It's because of internet delay. So go ahead, please, Kausa. And
Well,
thank you, the whole team.
I'm really happy to tell you today's petal or pillar. We do have problem here in electricity, and I always whenever I wanted to come, I keep my finger crossed not to lose electricity and not to have a problem. But I can tell you, I am already having solar panel in my house because I cannot depend on the government waiting for them to get the electricity, and we have a huge problem here with the government, and it's like a disaster almost, like it's the only country in the world that we don't have electricity 24/7. We do have it like 4 or 5 hours per day. So we try to solve this issue by just planning a green energy around the house and having solar panel. And for the winter, if there's not enough sun, we're gonna put the fan, the air, wind power. So we're trying to practice what we teach really, and what we try to find as as a source of research. We're really trying to apply it in our life daily, and not only from the 13 Pillar Society that we practice. We're trying to practice every personal development that we created as well. We're gonna see this in the last pillar, and
Yeah.
combining all this thing together, you wouldn't imagine. I mean, I had a pleasure doing this 13 Pillar Society with you guys, because I have gained a lot. At the same times, I put my information that I have in order to create this beautiful thing, and I'm sure they're gonna love the book, because we were working on the book as well. And the book has all the details. I know for sure we cannot summarize everything in 2 hours. There is a lot of information in there. We're trying to put them in order so you can have an idea, clear idea about what we're talking about in every episode. And I can tell you, I'm so happy to reach this point with all that information and knowledge. And you wouldn't imagine, I get calls and I get emails from you guys asking me these kind of questions, and I'm so happy to realize that you really love the show, love what we're talking about. And I really always talk about the new generation. We have here with us Fariha. She always help out, and she's from the new generation. And I love the way of doing thing with them. They're very eager to learn. They're up into the top of the everything. They have all the knowledge, and thanks to the internet, thanks to all this social media, they spread the word way faster than you can imagine. Naomi, you always say it's a leap. I say it's a shift. So the shift happen,
Yes.
and with all this great information, really. So I'm really happy to get into the 11th, and we're going to talk more about the alternative energy and why we really need to use the alternative green energy to save our planet from a lot of things, and especially we're heading into I mean for the future of safest community that we really wish to have.
And pretty soon, I'm dreaming of 13 ministries working up in
Yes,
Lebanon.
yes,
That,
yes.
that's really great. And talking about Lebanon, Aida, say hi.
I
Please, Aida,
know.
put on WhatsApp in Arabic that we are all around, we are live.
Yes.
She said, Aida Flyan, meet you, dear
Yeah.
friend. And bravo, Coco. I'm wondering who's Coco. Is that you?
It's my nickname. Actually,
Oh, I know a secret
the
now.
great pleasure, the great pleasure this you gave us here coming to Lebanon and getting to know you, Naomi, is it's a great opportunity for all of us to live in Earth like a family. I mean, especially the team that who work with us, I really feel like a family all together working on this project. And especially now it's coming to the end, I feel like no, I don't want it to finish it. So I'm so happy to see that this is from
From
Chile.
Chile or
Oh
Chile.
wow!
Soledad Moyano,
Hello.
hello. Oh, I'm so glad when people connect and please put comments and
Moyano.
questions and what you do in your
Yes,
country. That's the
absolutely.
goal. We are one family, one word,
Yes.
and all the
And
idea is to really is to share, and it has to be free, and it's a co-creation. I always use this word, co-creation. I love it.
I mean, the knowledge that you have, you spread it all over us, and the management that you create, you made everything more clear to everyone. And I think by doing this project with you and spreading the love for everyone to have really 13 Pillar Society of Peace that we really dream of, it's one of my great things that I'm doing with you. I appreciate that. So let's start.
Uh, let me
Zero
see. I
point
want
of
to go at the
energy. Wow.
beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of slides. At the
Yeah.
beginning. 11.
Wow. Okay.
Alternative sources of energy and clean means of transportation. This is a follow-up of the ecology and remember the bioagriculture, sorry,
Yes.
of last week, number 10. But this really deserves one program per se. This is absolutely incredible what people are up to these days,
Mm.
finding new source of energy and finding it's so clever sometimes, and sometimes those very simple ideas are great and great ideas. I mean, genius. So let's go. The beginning. Okay, just to remind you, we have 13 pillar, which is sport, health, high tech, low tech, quantum tech, medium tech, education, new geopolitics, peace culture, socio multi education, art, and quantum geometry. sometimes called sacred geometry, bioarchitecture, ecology, and now we go straight to alternative energy.
Yes.
Do you want to read this one? Just a small introduction.
Yes.
Is it too
Green
small?
energy.
A little bigger.
Oh. Green energy is the energy that collects from nature resources such as sun, water, wind, geothermal, and biofuel. Green energy is better for the environment, and unlike fossil fuel, it doesn't take thousands of years to produce. People use green energy to reduce the carbon dioxide in the air and help stop global warming and preventing places like Antarctica to melt and save many animals and uh, people to live. So basically, we're trying to talk here about the when we say green energy is everything that we can use without the fuel that we use like gas or any other old alternative way that we use electricity. So from oil, basically. So
Yeah,
uh,
basically.
they were saying in over 195 years the oil is gonna finish. So we don't have too much so long before the oil is gonna finish. So if we're replacing the oil with the green energy, we don't need to take the oil first of all from the ground, and we don't need this kind of energy to be to be gone first of all.
Correct. So we
And
start with the more traditional alternative and renewable energy sources, which is the wind. That many countries now use wind, like Uruguay, they
yes,
have a good percentage of their energy from wind. People say, of course, it's not nice for the countryside. I mean, the aesthetic, but at least it's no, there is no contamination. The solar
absolutely.
energy now it's all over the world as well. And I love your now. It's not only solar energy. There is so many variation and new technology to better the solar energy. And we saw your video with how do you say razor blades. You sent this video, didn't you? How to make
Yes.
power with the you
Oh,
use a pen and you use razor blades.
yes.
And you found more techniques here. Do you want to help us with the solar energy?
Actually, the old days when they used wind power and they create this kind of fan. Uh, I wish that we have more pictures, but it was so much to cover, and we don't want to put too many slides. But the wind now they do have different shape. It's like when they turn, they don't make this buzzing anymore because people put it next to the house and it makes sounds all the time, and people doesn't like that. So and it sometimes make a lot of noise. So they try to put them away from the house, and if there is no room for it, I mean enough land for it, so they prefer not to use it. They try to use a solar panel. But the problem between solar panels and the wind power, they most people use it like in a picture in parallel with each other, because sometimes when in some places, like when they get so much fog, and then you don't see the sun too much, so you wouldn't get enough energy from the solar panel. Or sometimes too you don't have enough place to put more panels, because for a regular house you need at least to put 8 panels, eight board. So you see up in the top picture there is 4 boards. So if for a regular house you need 8 boards of that, or you need to put the wind tower as well in order to get the full house to be um, renewable energy source. If we get to talk more about the hydraulic and the hydroelectric power and biomass and all the other stuff as well, we realize we can see here on the other pictures the turbine in the water run on the wave. So when the wave comes, turn the fan as well and produce energy. We know energy. We talked about this in physics before. We know energy created by movement. So anytime that we have air or water, anything that can create that movement, it can create energy, and it can create, and we can put it into certain system. So biomass, when we collect the trash or the fossils from the recycling material, we get, sometimes they call it zero, but we don't have a zero trash or recycling. So we have something left over. So this kind of, we really put it together in a small play, and what we call it, and then they can just cover it up and have a small tube coming out of it, and we can produce gas. This by this is what we call biomass. So seawater energy as well, that we were talking about, that we can use the wave energy to produce that. So basically, we have so many way of doing this, but it's all based on movement and friction of the frequency to produce that kind of movement, so it can keep spinning and creating this energy flow.
Yeah, I really like the geothermal energy because it's so simple. You dig
Mm,
here, you can see on the pictures actually on the left and down.
uh,
You dig,
yeah,
dig, 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 dig until you get all the heat of the earth and you use that. That's
uh,
so simple.
yeah. Now I remember,
Amazing.
biomass is composting material. When they do the composting, they cover the composting materials, and then the composting material creates gas in it, and then they do use this gas for energy. So
Well, that's what you need for your house. After the solar panel, you
yes,
need the biogas so you can cook, and that is you're completely independent.
exactly.
So this is
There we go.
it's a summary: solar,
Sorry.
tidal, geothermal. Here you can
Here,
see clearly how
here,
the you dig up and you get the heat on this picture. Biomass or biogas, hydro energy, and wind. This is, let's say, the classic right now, right?
mm-hmm.
And
Invasive for some animals and people. The Uh, yeah, I know what you're talking about actually, but the most complaint and most advantage of that, people say the noise that it creates. I don't know about much about animals, because they try to make it way up high so the animals wouldn't be affected, but really the noise is the main problems. And hydrogen energy, this is what we're trying to get into. This is really compared to other. Type of energy, the hydrogen energy, that like the first picture that you saw, the truck, it's a hydrogenic energy.
yeah,
Biomass, as we were saying, we compost the trash, and we create gas from it. And tide energy is the wave that we can create. Solar energy is the solar panel from the sun. We get the energy from the sun. And geothermal energy, we have to dig really down into the earth to get that kind of friction. So it's not like uh, easy to do, So most likely, what we have seen, most likely at the last couple of years, the wind and the solar, you see them all over the place. What we didn't see here, and I know that happens before, they call it carbon sheet glass. I couldn't find much information about this, but I know it exists, and they did have used it on one of the project with the Nassim Haramein. You remember we talked about Nassim Haramein before? He had one of the biggest project on Florida, and they were using carbon. And we're gonna see in next some of the next slides more advanced technology, and I'm gonna explain it to you when we get there. So you can see it better.
I'm going to write it down. Is it like this? Carbon sheet glass, right?
Yeah.
This one.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you type in on the internet solar panel new technology, you will see at least half a dozen of
Uh,
improvement
you know,
with
you
a
know they were saying carbon sheet can be used as well in a computer. And this is what they already have this technology, but we didn't already have it in the market, where you get your keyboard to be down into the I mean there's no keyboard. Eventually you type just in the air, you know.
Yeah, I love
this,
that.
this is basically some kind of carbon sheet, because the carbon can release that energy, that frequency into certain boards. And this why when we use carbon sheet glass, we don't you need to use wires to send electricity from a house to another. We're gonna have the reflection of the window, because we're gonna use that as glass window from a window to another. So that if one house doesn't get the sun and the neighbor has the sun, they can reflect the window into the neighbors, and the neighbor can have
Oh,
that. So the
and
energy
give
is beautiful. It's yeah, it's
that,
lovely.
yeah, solidarity.
Exactly.
And I saw as well a printer. It's a printer. You can print your own solar panel. It's
Yeah.
good. Just it doesn't last forever, but at least you can have that in an emergency. Can you imagine the printer? You print your
Wow.
solar panel.
Well,
Uh-huh.
I mean, the 3D printer, I cannot even mention that yet,
It's
but the
great.
3D printer, you can even, they're using this kind of technology instead of using papers or, regular material, they can use concrete, or you can use wood or whatever, and they can build a 3D house with just 3D printer. I mean, the mind is going really way far than we can imagine, thanks to the technology again. And I just always pray whenever I talk about technology to use it friendly and to use it for the good purpose of it. And this is what really wanted to keep it this way.
Uh-huh. And for Soledad, who is concerned about the animals,
Yeah.
I saw on internet new wind energy mill or like
Yes. Tower.
tower, let's say for animals and birds. So
Oh,
yeah, it's improving. Okay, let's go to the next one. Biomass, what you were explaining, or it includes biogas actually,
mm. Yeah. You see,
biofuels,
they recycle.
bioethanol, and biodiesel or diesel, which is
Yeah.
a nice way to recycle the garbage, by the way.
It is very much like recycling the trash. Some people, they do have a little of the out of it, because the most of the country now recycle. We try to recycle all the materials, so we do have very much little left. And then whatever we have, these component that we cannot recycle, we try to make it as a biomass, biofuel. And there is something about biofuel as well too, that they call they make it from corn, plants, and from really when they start doing the GMO, you know, they did the GMO studies based on the biomass biofuel. They thought if they change the grain to make it grow bigger or more, then they can get more biofuel from it. So it will be able to create more. Energy for the community. But we realized that we didn't just use it for biofuel. We started using it for human, food purpose. So and we realized a lot of issues after that. So we really tried to keep the grain the way it is, the way God created it. Not to get the GMO thing into it and start and keep it organic. So this is really good. And there is a lot more plants as well. They use hemp a lot for that. They use corn a lot for that, because they create oils. Green School Valley. Oh yes, you
Yeah,
visited
this
this
is
school?
diesel. You said diesel or diesel? Diesel, right?
Diesel. Diesel. Yes. Did you
Yeah,
visit
the
the school?
school bus is 100% running on the diesel. And it's a school, so
Wow.
all the kids now they know how to do it. I think it's brilliant.
Wow.
And see, this is the gas station, and they have the biodiesel here. This is where they load the bus. They fill up the tank. Can you see the picture on the right?
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm glad because it's inside the school, so it's part of the curricula how to do that, and they have the formula, and they during the chemical class they do the fuel or the biodiesel. Uh, this is a
Yeah.
parenthesis, but this is some pictures we didn't have time to show last week. Plants
Mm.
that clean the air. It's completely organic, so you can have these plants in your house, in your shop, in your enterprise, in your school, and it will clean up the air. This was sent by Fariha, our friend who is doing all the research during the week. I think it's great. And then we
That's
have the artificial tree that can suck the air pollution better than trees. And this is from Biometech. It's like a tree, and it just clean the air as well, or
mm.
suck in the air. Of course, I would say it's better to prevent and not to pollute, and then
Mm.
you have to take away your pollution. But at least there is some nice initiatives.
I
And
think
this
it's gonna
one,
take us time.
this one, Giovanna, you love this robot. Do you want to talk about it?
Hey,
Yay!
Giovanna.
Oh,
I'm thinking that I'm freezing right now a little.
good to
Uh,
see you.
Yes, I love this robot, because I have seen it, and I'm thinking that this company Ocean Cleanup, it's ordering these kind of robots to clean the beaches, and what they do is they just have a sift, and they go all over the areas, and they begin sifting all the sand. It's not very deep, so they are not concerned about that, to erosion the land or anything. So, and they go and they clean in a very nice manner, very big areas. So I loved it. I love this idea. Yes, and they said that, in order to keep, the safety of the people and that is there, they have some controllers for that. It's not that they are automated, just going by themselves, but there's people that is managing this. So I like the idea. Yes.
We like
I have
robots.
I have seen this in
Yes.
Virginia Beach and in Ocean
Uh-huh.
City, Maryland. So
Oh,
I'm sure that they do have this, and it's very 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 nice, and I wish that we can see them on all the beaches for sure, cleaning
yes,
the mess after the public in the public beach. Public beach. It's all over the place. We call it public beach because it's for the whole public,
yes.
and except here in Lebanon that you get to pay to go to the beach. So
Oh,
I really wanted to wish that all the beaches will be free for the
yes.
public.
And all the garbage and everything that it's picked up and it's recycled. And in the same machine, it also has one like kind of computer that sends all the database to some universities. So meanwhile it's cleaning, they are also having data for the people to see what we're doing, how much glass, how much of this or that it's collected, is being collected. So they want to encourage people, and put all these data on the online, so we know it, and creating consciousness regarding that too. So I like the idea, and thank you, Fariha, always for all of this information. You send us some great
Thank
Well,
you.
information. Yes.
for this for this weekend on Sunday, we're going from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10, just for like a couple hours to clean one of the beaches here around us, and try to to set the awareness for the people around to keep it clean as well for the summer. Yeah.
Wow, great.
So, but we're doing it by hand, not by machine. We really need this machine. Yeah. Tip to save energy at home. Yes, 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 yes. And
Yeah, this is
mostly
something we can all do.
Yeah, most electric company, they try to send you this kind of brochures with the bill, and you just open the bill, pay the money. You don't even look at the brochures, at that.
Yeah.
But really, if we look at the pictures and realize every single thing matter, every single thing that we do on our life, in a daily life, represent us. So just
You, do you want to do
we were
a
talking
brief
about the water.
summary?
Yeah, and just by reducing the water consumption is very important. We say that to the kids, and when we teach the summer camp, Naomi, we tell the kids when they brush their teeth to close the faucet, and then whenever they wanted to rinse, just to open it, not to keep it running during the time they're brushing their teeth. So there's so many little things here and there that we can do at home. Just please try to save energy as much as possible, save water, and care about our global warming, so we can really live together safe and happy. We can, you want me to read this? You can
Yeah,
have
just
a
just a quick,
with
quick, quick
yes,
summary of
renewable
each
energy
one.
and changing some
Yeah.
attitude, practice in a way of some general and use that energy. Yes. uh, Turn off light when what, I cannot see the room.
Probably when you
Switch
are not home
When
or
Switch
not
leaving
in
the
the
switch
room.
room.
energy efficient appliance. Use LED light. Yes. Reduce water consumption. Keep thermostat as low as possible. Unplug certain service when you're not using them. And this is very important. Actually, it can this kind of vibration. It's not really good for ourselves. So if we're not using it, it's better to unplug it. Use a small automated device, switch double glass, and cook with the light on, because you're gonna save more time and gas as well. Use solar power as we were mentioning, and wash with cold temperature. Yeah, it works, but it's not all. Not with the white clothes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
separate them. That's why you got to separate them.
And nowadays
Okay.
the washing machine, it's a bicycle. So you do the bicycle, and the bicycle run the washing
Along the
machine
water.
at the
Yes.
place that you don't have electricity. This is I want to put one in the university, the new one. We
Yes.
are building up the multi-use 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 for piece. That would be great. So this is basically the same. Either one more we didn't see. Generate your own electricity, wrap your tubes or pipes. Use sunshine. You know the clothes, when you put it at the sun to dry them off, the smell is so delicious.
Yes. Smells
It's,
better.
yeah, yeah. It's like your clothes is full of the photons of the sun, and insulate, of course. Karina Rascon from Mexico. Good morning, afternoon, Noemi Kausar and Giovanna. Thanks for this wonderful information and tips for saving energy. Thank
Yes.
you, Karina. Let's go to the next one. The wind.
Wow.
This is for Soledad. It's called the
Yeah.
aerial wind farms, that you capture the energy from the wind, but not next to your house with a noise or in the nature, and it's not perfect. But the farm is called the wind farm. It's in the air, and it's studied so it won't harm the birds or any flying animals. So that's another idea. And oh, by the way, there is one with algae. This is
Yeah.
a farm with algae for production for biofuel. So you can have your biodiesel with algae.
Mm.
This is another one. So it's called wind farm and algae farm, which is great.
And
Wow.
We can do many things with algae. This is tidal power and wind. This we
Okay.
saw at the beginning.
and I'm thinking that you have some videos as well, isn't it, Noemi?
No, I don't have this one.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
the video at the bottom that
For
you can
the
do.
for the algae.
For the algae, yes, we do. Do you want to see it?
Yes, it's a 2 minute video
Let
that could
yeah,
be
let me
very
see where
nice
I
to
have
see
it.
it, probably. they show us
This
exactly
one,
what you do.
the last one. Let me see. No, this one is Iceland. Mm-hmm. Let me see if I have it somewhere. Go on, meanwhile. Yeah, I have it, but somewhere else. So just keep on talking so I can have it.
Well,
I have to
I
stop
can
with
tell you
the
some information
video.
about green algae. Green algae, you know that some people did some research on it. It's not only used for mass biomass and energy fuel. We can use it to strengthen our bone. So people have it as a capsules.
Yes, actually, I have seen it.
You know, they say your bone release the bone marrow, you know,
Uh-huh.
to grow the bone, and
Okay.
especially for when we get old, we don't have enough of that. So when you take the green algae, it releases it more than 35% than regular. So you really
Oh,
can recover from that. It's easy. Small
Let me see.
information.
I can find
Yeah.
it. Okay, sorry. This was the algae. So we
okay.
have algae for fuel. We have algae for food as well. So that's why we
Yes.
think algae is a very good opportunity for the future. So yes, I
Yep.
found the video. Do you want to see it
Great.
now?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Fuel to get around. And as America takes steps to improve our energy security, homegrown fuel sources are more important than ever. The Energy Department is researching one of the fuel sources of the future found here in algae. Have a look at this algae farm. These large man-made ponds are called raceways, and they cultivate a new crop of algae every few weeks. You see, algae, or more correctly, microalgae, are very small aquatic organisms that convert sunlight into energy. Some of these algae store energy in the form of natural oils. Under the right conditions, algae can make a lot of oil that can be converted into biofuels. Algae could potentially produce up to 60 times more oil per acre than land-based plants. Extract that oil, and you have the raw materials to make fuel for cars, trucks, trains, and planes. In the future, anything that runs on gasoline and diesel could also use biofuel from algae. The oil is extracted by breaking down the cell structure of the algae. This can be done by using solvents or sound waves. After the oil is extracted, then it is further processed at an integrated biorefinery, or in the future, at a traditional oil refinery. Another great benefit of algae? Consider this. Like plants, algae needs carbon dioxide to grow. And that's good for the environment, since it takes CO2 out of the atmosphere, making it a nearly carbon-neutral fuel source. There may even be opportunities to build algae farms next to power plants that use fossil fuels, actually using CO2 exhaust to feed algae ponds. There are over 100,000 different strains of algae. Some grow better in different climates, or in freshwater, saltwater, or even wastewater. So, scientists are testing different algae under many different conditions to find the best strains and develop the most efficient farming practices. While commercial production is still a ways off, algae holds great promise to become a reliable homegrown fuel source to reduce our nation's reliance on foreign oil.
Uh-huh. And then you can clean the water too. It's good for decontamination.
Yes, yes. And as we were talking, you also take it like capsules, and
Yes.
it's very helpful for you, isn't it?
And I think
No.
the doctor is from Canada who did the research. I think here somewhere I have the paper. I met the doctor, and they did something called stem enhance. Stem enhance is the algae in it. So
Oh,
they did the research on one of the leg in Texas, I think, close to you, and the pond have have certain algae in the top of it. They clean it with the machine, they collect it, and they make it as you have seen it on his hand. It's all green and it smells too, but
Can
it's
okay.
you
very
type
healthy.
for us the name of the doctor?
Yeah, sure. I'll get you the book. I can show you the
Okay,
book.
in the
Yeah.
in the private chat, and then we can put it on the screen for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Meanwhile, we get the name of this one. Oh, geothermal energy in Iceland. It's a video as well, so we can go to the video. Is it okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be great. Good.
In Iceland, nature is a challenge, an inspiration, and a gift. Our hydroelectric and geothermal power stations supply over 82% of Iceland's primary energy needs, and 100% of our house heating comes from renewable sources. Iceland is truly the land of renewable energy.
Geothermal energy is one of the most important bases of quality of life and economic growth in Iceland. In the beginning of last century, we started building infrastructure in order to use the energy for heating of our houses.
Within decades, Iceland had abandoned coal, public health had improved, and economic development accelerated, making Iceland one of the most advanced societies in the world. Since 1967, we have harvested geothermal energy for electrical production too. Today, 30% of our electricity is generated geothermally. In this time, we have acquired valuable expertise and experience that allows us to use our resources sustainably.
No country in the world has so extensively used geothermal energy over the years, developing a cascaded approach to the utilization of geothermal energy. Utilizing geothermal for power generation, direct use, so for heating applications, bathing, industrial applications, food production, and so much more. And the cascaded use of geothermal energy, utilizing high temperature down to low temperatures, has been a tremendous contribution to the economy of Iceland.
Icelandic companies and experts have helped develop multiple geothermal projects all over the world. Icelandic consultants are involved in all stages: research, design, construction, and resource management. And the different actors in the field have years of experience working together.
With the extensive know-how and experience gained in developing geothermal projects in Iceland, Icelandic companies can contribute greatly to the support of development worldwide.
Icelanders are a nation sculpted by the elements. We know that a healthy relationship with nature is everything. Let us help you give back to the environment.
Wow.
Impressive, huh? 80% of the energy is renewable.
Exactly. Yes. Can you imagine? And they say that that percentage is with geothermal energy, but the rest is also green energy that they're using. So pretty much 100% of their the energy that they're using for all the country, it's renewable energy source. So incredible. Well, that's an example for us, isn't it? For all the rest of the countries, that's nice.
Wow.
Yeah, 82% of Iceland's primary energy is
And if you
geothermal.
yes, and if you like to see more of that, of all of those videos, we're attaching the link in case you want to just go ahead and
Yes,
go it.
please. You can
Yes,
put them in comments right now.
yes.
Wonderful. What's the
Wonderful.
next one? Is wave power,
Wind power.
and we
Floating
have so much ocean.
wind power into electricity. Yes.
Yes,
These floaters turns ocean waves power into electricity. That's another way. And this is completely renewable. And this one,
yeah. This one I like it. It's like if you saw some energy sources that we probably haven't heard of in this presentation, or probably we did, but I was amazed of this body heat. Okay, this is an alternative energy as well. In Sweden, in engineers in Stockholm have
Yes.
devised a way to harness the heat generated by the 205,000 commuters who crowd in this central station every day. Can you imagine?
Well, yes.
They just managed to harness all that heat, and they are heating one office building. floor. So one whole floor with that kind of energy. So it's a very nice initiative, isn't it? So bioalcohols, I'm thinking that we already saw these alcohols because they say that unlike alga fuels, biofuels such as ethanol, I'm thinking that they have been using ethanol in biodiesel already.
Yes.
Uh, they are commercializing, isn't it?
Yes.
So yes, but one thing that I also liked is these the dance floors. Okay, imagine harnessing all these dance floors energy. In Rotterdam, they have found a way to harness this kinetic energy of the
Kinetic
dance
energy.
floors, and they are converting that electricity for the same dance floors. It's for the place. So while dancing, you have all your energy going around. So nice. And
That's
the jellyfish in Sweden again, in Gothenburg, in the university. I'm thinking that Chalmers University of Technology. Zachary Chiragwandi and his team has developed a biological fuel cell derived from the fluorescent of protein cells of the jellyfish. And I'm thinking that they are trying to harness all these, same as in architecture, isn't it? Like with biomimicry, but trying to find out how these jellyfish also have all this energy, and uh, it's very interesting for me.
this what I was saying earlier. From plants that we can create a lot of biomass as well,
Yes.
fuel, because we can create alcohol from any green plants. So and the alcohol is the ethanol. Ethanol can be used as a diesel. So basically, for a lot of crop that we can use, it's not. And this is how they start again. They start the GMO. They start creating more crop to save the hunger and to use it as a fuel so they can save the earth as well. And people start eating this stuff too without the further studies. So we need to be careful not to eat it though.
Yeah.
Mm. So
Okay.
now I invite you to explore some more, or later
Vortex,
on, or more things.
hydrogen algae, farmer and recycling CO2 from biohydrogen airship. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah,
So
it's called
I try to
hydrogenesis.
understand that, and just by looking at it, I got like stunning.
Yeah,
It's it's a beautiful thing.
because
Yes.
the shape is like that. This the upper shape
Hmm.
gather the algae and the hydrogen, then will take off from the base, float to the city, give the algae and the hydrogen to the city, float again in the air, go back to the sea, and harvest again. Now this is from Vincent Cayebo, of course, my hero. He's such an
Yeah,
incredible architect, and why not? In the future, everything is possible. I mean, we do
yeah,
have the technology and the techniques. Tesla coil, of course, we can't do this program without talking about Tesla, Nikola Tesla, who is another hero of mine, or
yes.
how do you say, I'm a fan of him. I invite you to go in the internet. It's called Mini Tesla Coil. So when you do this device, you have a free bulb for your house or your classroom or your neighborhood. This is something we can do right now. And then we can see more about Tesla. This is in Spanish, but basically it's a rotative magnetic field done with three phases. And
Mm.
if you go to internet, this will turn. Well, no, it's a GIF. It should work, but it will go here, which is all the numbers of Tesla, and then go here, go here, go here. Oh no, you can see my cursor, but it's a three-phase rotative, and I will show you the numbers. Maybe it's here. Yeah. So it will go from, so according to this drawing, from 1 to 2, 4, and then go to 8, 7, 9, and it will go forever. This is endless energy.
Well, this is what he was talking about the pyramid. And then he said it could be the pyramid. It's like the tower that he created. And then he think that the pyramid all over the universe were tower of power, but they use different frequency. They don't use the same electricity that we use today. So in case that you touch this electricity, you can die from it. So they use different frequency with a different light. It's more gentle and more soft, and then it could be produced just from such a thing like that. And then they burn his lab couple times, and you know what happened to him. So you get to learn more about Tesla and his studies. He's an amazing person. Yes.
Yeah, this is the tower he made. This wireless, of course. Maybe do you want to read this and then we can watch? We have a beautiful video of Tesla so people
Yeah.
can understand exactly what was the deal with Tesla.
More than 25 years ago, I began my efforts to harness cosmic ray, and I have succeed. Electric power is everywhere, present in unlimited quantity. This new power for the driving of the world machinery. We be drift from the energy which operate in the universe without the needs for coal, gas, oil, and any other fuel. We realize what he was talking about is the free energy. We're talking about it now. He created this kind of machine. It's like very much like the pyramid that we're talking about, and he was thinking that he can get this to be free, but the investor, because he was kind of poor person, he have all this in mind. The investor couldn't let him do it, and we're gonna see this in the video when we watch it again, and then you can hear the story. But yeah, they stopped because they wanted to create everything need to be profit for them. They cannot put certain amount of money just to be free for the people and just waste their money. Very much like all other company that created to we're just a customer. We're not a patient. We're not people. We're not human to certain companies.
And
So we're gonna see what happened to him. You can watch the video and see.
Okay.
I
yes,
love this guy.
One small piece of technology?
As an
What
MRI
about if that
technologist,
piece of
I've learned a lot.
technology was the size of a smartphone and took
Wait,
up next to no space in your...
Sorry?
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Just keep going.
Okay, I put it at the beginning.
Have you ever wondered
Yes.
what it would be like if you could power your entire home with one small piece of technology? What about if that piece of technology was the size of a smartphone and took up next to no space in your house, pulling energy from the quantum vacuum? You could say goodbye to the days of paying your utility bills. Nikola Tesla famously said that no free energy device will ever be allowed to reach the market. Further to this, when Tesla had a car with antenna placed on it and was running it around town as the batteries charged themselves, J.P. Morgan reported to have told Tesla, "If we can't put a meter on it, we don't want it." In 1901, Tesla started building the Wardenclyffe Tower with funding from J.P. Morgan. Tesla hoped he would be able to create a wireless system to take the world off the grid. When Marconi beat Tesla to wireless radio transmission across the Atlantic, Tesla changed his plans for the tower. When J.P. Morgan learned of Tesla's plans for free energy, he immediately cut funding to the project. After all, Morgan was a titan of electricity in his own right, a Goliath in the copper industry, as well as being a capitalist whose work focused around profiting from others. In 1905, Nikola Tesla submitted a patent entitled The Art of Transmitting Electrical Energy Through the Natural Medium. Tesla had realized that the ionosphere was filled with electrical energy that could be easily tapped into. Seeing the world as one big electrical generator, Tesla believed that by using an appropriate medium, limitless energy could be harnessed from the magnetic poles which the planet centered around. Tesla wanted to condense trapped energy between the surface of the Earth and its upper atmosphere and transform it into an electrical current. The sun, to Tesla, was merely a ball of electricity, positively charged with potentially 200 billion volts. To the contrary, Earth was charged with negative electricity, and to Tesla, this force constituted what he called cosmic energy. To experiment and test his ideas, Tesla created the Tesla coil in Colorado Springs on Pikes Peak. On his quest for a wireless world unowned by a power grid, Tesla created electrical arcs that were essentially man-made lightning bolts. This lightning was seen for miles around and helped Tesla to prove that his invention could power light bulbs wirelessly. In 1931, Tesla claimed to have finally harnessed these cosmic rays in the Brooklyn Eagle, explaining that he had caused the rays to operate a motor device. He said, "More than 25 years ago, I began my efforts to harness cosmic rays, and I have succeeded. Electric power is everywhere, present in unlimited quantities. This new power for the driving of the world's machinery will be derived from the energy which operates in the universe, without the need for coal, gas, oil, or any other fuel." So why, after so much time has passed, do we still use metered linear energy sources to power our daily lives? Our household and workplace machines and most personal devices we use all still run on grid-provided electricity, instead of this apparent free energy, which was meant to be so readily available. Utilizing this energy would finally stop the global reliance on fossil fuels and nuclear power. However, from a macroeconomic stability perspective, this is their worst nightmare. 99.999% of people on the planet would benefit from this, leaving less than 0.001% of the population out of pocket. This is because that small percentage are the ones at the top of the petrodollar system in the macroeconomic order, where everything runs on metered linear energy, even solar power and wind energy. If you start a conversation about the phenomena of new energy, more precisely free energy, you are entering an overly sensitive area of compartmented intelligence in the history of the United States. We have not needed fossil fuels for around the last 100 years. At this point in history, the rapidly advancing theories and quaternion equations put forward by the likes of Tesla, Maxwell, and Faraday were interrupted. This has resulted in the energy sector of today relying heavily upon us burning or heating a material or substance to create steam to generate electricity or run our cars. The last 100 years has witnessed considerable developments in physics. Principles and elements that were not understood or even contemplated 100 years ago are now well interpreted. Pioneering scientists such as Tesla and Faraday were curious to know where all of the excess power was coming from. Professor Paul Dirac called it a Dirac Sea, while Tesla referred to it as the ocean of infinite energy. Today, it is known as the zero-point energy field. If you create this kind of vector in a zero-point energy field and you simultaneously create a counter-rotating vortex, which resembles a Sufi light phenomenon, you get what is called lift. This in turn results in what is known in physics as electrogravitics, or in popular culture, anti-gravity. What happens when a UFO moves straight up at a speed of 10,000 miles per hour, moving against gravity? Well, the UFO is actually in a space-time bubble, having created its own environment. There are no restrictions to normal aerodynamics, and things can lift and go straight up at these velocities. When an object reaches terminal velocity, it can become massless. During the time of Tesla, when alternative current, AC, was invented, they noticed this effect, where a certain amount of energy would go into a system and more energy would come out. This ideology was not accepted until a physicist named Hendrik Casimir published his findings in mainstream physics journals. His work proved there would still be energy in the universe even after cooling all of the atoms to absolute zero, thus proving the existence of the zero-point energy field. This very field was later found to be in all of the space that surrounds us every day. It is believed that every cubic centimeter of space has enough power to provide energy to the United States for one whole day. This energy field is so gargantuan. If we decided to run the planet from this energy source, it would be like taking 1 ounce of water out of the ocean. In the last 100 years, little has changed in terms of the geopolitical macroeconomic exigencies, and this is somewhat problematic. Not only are there bankers and kleptocrats that are misanthropic sociopaths, but there are also several stakeholders that do not want to deal with these changes. Even if you do not accept that in your paradigm, the inhumanity of keeping these sciences and technologies away from the public and the poverty that it engenders is beyond comprehension. For instance, electrifying the Indian subcontinent to provide everyone with all of the energy they need using the conventional energy systems of today would cost trillions of dollars. Every couple of years, there are around 1,000 new coal fire-burning power plants being opened in China, India, and elsewhere without scrubbers. In the Pacific Northwest of the United States, you have a huge amount of pollution that has drifted across from Asia due to the lack of scrubbers at the new plants. When you take a closer look at the cities, such as Beijing and Shanghai, the air is almost not breathable at all there. One of the main reasons Nikola Tesla was interested in free energy was because he learned that there was a warming of the planet caused by man-made sources of atmospheric pollutants. Tesla may have been the first person to consider in detail the effects of this phenomenon now commonly referred to as global warming or the greenhouse effect. It is not just the air that is becoming more polluted. If you look at the oceans, you have instances such as Fukushima reactor releasing radioactive material into the ocean, in addition to CO2. Ecosystems in the ocean are continuously beginning to die because of the acidity created by such pollutants, causing alkaline levels to be disrupted. All of these are macro geophysical effects currently ongoing while we try to maintain the current macroeconomic order in the world.
And
Well, when he got to the point where the ocean was contaminated as well, studying radiology, I learned a lot about that as well too. So the different type of frequency can really destroy the all the living on the ocean. And we have seen a lot of dolphins and stuff, in there. Especially after certain hurricanes and certain stuff. And we realized that there are a lot of certain situations, they say a lot of these were man-made. And if it's really man-made, we have to consider all the technology that we've been using to be more, free and green and more consider the human life span and all the effect of all that, what we're doing. So, Maxwell and all the people that he mentioned in the video as well, to created the magnet, and they had Nobel Prize. Maxwell was the Nobel Prize winning for the magnetic field for the MRI machine. They created image from the frequency, and this is really great, phenomenal to create the energy from the body into the picture. And this is why I always try to explain to them. It took me so long to understand it myself. When you go into the MRI machine, it digs into your head all the time, ding, 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 all this beautiful, crazy noise. And then the body give the same frequency, but without that kind of friction. But the coil does that, usually on the machine. So I'm sure later on in the future, they might not be able to have all this kind of noise, but creating all this technology. But the body give the same energy and give the same energy. And we try to translate this energy into a picture. So as Giovanna was saying, all our body is energy, everything around but us is energy. We can have energy from all sources, but we really need more research on that. And I'm sure I do have some picture. I might be able to share it with you from Egypt. They do have in certain temples, they do have certain pictures of energy that they used before. You know, when you enter certain places, especially temples in Egypt, you realize there is no way of using torch or fire or anything for light, and then you see the bright place with all this painting, and you always think how they used to have the light inside, you know, and how they used to live inside of this beauty without no wire and no electricity. I'm sure they had this kind of technology, but we lost it somehow. I don't know what happened. We lost it. And then when Tesla was talking about this, I was trying to connect what I have seen in Egypt and then with all this glory, history, and then what Tesla was saying, I was like, maybe this generation has all this knowledge, but we lost it big time. And then when I did more research about that, I realized the shift started when we disconnected the certain frequency with a different tuning. So tuning was the issue. So, you know, if you cannot play good music if you don't tune your instrument, and you're always gonna mess up you know, the play, whatever it's the music notes. So tuning is the most important part, and playing on a good tuning, and especially they do set all the instrument in the piano, and the piano always set as in a frequency 423. So this is the basic frequency of the piano. If you set your piano in different frequency, nowadays they do set it on 432 instead of 23. So we shifted. And shifting this energy, it's like calling you and you're not answering, basically. So we really disconnect ourselves and really need to get our energy back. And then we really need to flow together in a good pace, and really grow in consciousness together to save this planet. And that's why we're trying to all use green energy and trying to really engage every single research to make sure that we're not going to be able to do something bad for it in the future, like what we're doing now.
I will show you more of that.
Yeah.
This
They
is
burned his tower. They burned his office a couple times, you know.
This is 0 point energy that we just talk
Looks
about.
like, yes.
And this is the video we saw. And the clean means of transportation. You know about this car running on water? You can have cars and motorbike actually. And I saw some models from Iran, Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, what I know of. So I want to show you the video of Bolivia because I live here, and this car is running on water.
Wow.
It's in Spanish, but I will...
Es un motor de 250 centímetros cúbicos de caballaje.
He's
Originalmente es a carburador,
the engine.
pero yo estoy haciendo el método más factible, es el método de electrólisis. ¿Qué significa la electrólisis? Sabemos que el agua es una composición de 2 moléculas de hidrógeno y una molécula de oxígeno. El hidrógeno es separado del oxígeno y sabemos que el hidrógeno es 3 veces más energético que la gasolina. Y gracias a eso es un combustible factible. Te cuento que en 1993 el inventor Stanley Mayer sacaba a la luz un coche que funcionaba con 100% agua. El mío es a mezcla. Este invento fue censurado en Estados Unidos por obvias razones que no conviene a muchas personas que empecemos a usar agua de pozos o ríos para movilizarnos. Aquí llegué gracias a esta feria internacional en Cochabamba, por el señor Javier Bellot, el presidente de la Federación de Empresarios Privados de Cochabamba. Él me dijo, Nat, yo creo en ti, tienes que venir a presentarte. Y es algo muy honorable de su parte.
Wow. That's nice.
So, of course, I want one too. I want the motorbike and the car. It's not 100% yet, but the idea is over there. It's implementar.
In
Uh,
Los Angeles, they got a lot of scooters where you can just put your card or scan it, and then you have an account over your phone, and then it takes the money out of your phone. It's like $1 per trip, and then you can take the scooter and the neighbor, so you don't have to ride the car. So if you wanted to go and get something from the grocery store, just a little thing, you can just use the scooter, go back home, and just and it's easy, quick trip if you don't want to walk and it's a little bit far. But
That's
it's
great.
yeah, there's so many things, and then research and all this, new generation make things go really fast, and you wouldn't imagine. Oh, look at this Iranian
yeah,
scientist,
it's
Qasimi,
yeah. Do you want
unveil
to
his
read it? It's a good explanation.
uh,
And
unveil his new invention, a car that say is powered by water. The car can run on 60 liter of water, and it's able to travel up to 900 kilometer in 10 hours. Wow! The power generator after H2O is splitting into hydrogen and oxygen, which react chemically to produce energy. The car's engine only produce water vapor, causing next to zero air pollution. Oh my goodness! This guy is brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah,
and you
and
can use seawater
he's
as well.
drinking water. Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
it's all about the engine. If the engine can produce that kind of heat with vapor, the vapor can move certain equipment on the car and make this kind of energy to flow to how can I explain it? I mean, we all know the heat from the water can produce the vapor, which is the vapor is the hydrogen that we're talking about here. So they're trying to separate the water, the oxygenated water from the hydrogen and create that kind of material to use it as a fuel. And it's very easy to do that chemically and by just creating certain machine, but they don't want to do it before. And now, because all the people talking about that, they didn't want to do it before because they were making a lot of money from the oil. And then these huge company, like what we were talking, what we heard about the Tesla now in the video just now. I mean, the company of the fuel, and the company of the pharmaceutical, and the company that for certain drugs and all that, they're making a lot of money. They don't want to find a solution for that. It's like cutting the you know the economy for them and making it more lose their business. But we really need to survive. It's not about them now. It's about us. Look at this beautiful
but this
car.
one is so
Wow.
beautiful. You want to read
That's
it? It's gorgeous.
H-
I want this one.
that's a new.
wow, I really want this car. Yes.
That's the latest model of a water car. Yeah.
Well, in Dubai last year there were kind of festival, and then the expo, the car expo, and they had a new Mercedes. They call it over the name of the movie, the Avatar, and they call the car. If you type Avatar Mercedes, oh my gosh, you will find the car, and it's a helium battery. So and a solar light as well too. So you don't need gas for it, and it's a beautiful Mercedes
Oh,
as well. So there's so many kind of cars. They run on the solar, or this one it runs on water. Wow, this is beautiful thing. This is a
yeah.
truck,
Yes.
hydrogen truck. Wow.
And this is a new project and proposal that one company it's also trying to have all these roads
Yeah.
with zero emissions of CO2, and so they're trying to improve with this line of trucks that are hydrogen that are working with hydrogen. So yes, it's a
I
very
wanted to add something on this as well too. when I visited last time Los Angeles last year, there is so many cars now. You can ride automatically, so you don't have to do anything to them. You just sit and you give them the direction, and they can slow in the traffic. Only in the highway that you can just let go, basically. But if you're driving between the light, it still cannot see if the light is red. It wouldn't stop, so it keep going. And then if there is a car in front of it, it slow down a little bit. I was so scared to let go because my mind still said that I am the driver. I'm driving the car. It's not driving alone. And my son kept telling me, "Mom, take off your hand. You're doing something. The car's doing it alone." And I couldn't let go, really. And then I drive two, 3 times on a highway, try to let go. It was kind of hard for my mind to understand all that. But for the truck, it was way easier and way better, I think, especially for the truck when I saw this picture,
Yes.
because we had so many car accidents from the driver driving long distance and having some, they sleep during the time that they drive or something, and they were drinking a lot of Red Bull and all this energy drink to stay awake, and then they had so many problems with that as well too, in a healthy way, and the health issues. So thank you for the technology. Thank you for the zero emission hydrogen truck. Wow, this is really amazing that people can be more safe, and then we can really have a clean energy around us everywhere we go.
Yes, and talking about the okay, we're talking about transportation, but I saw this information from outer space that we this is
Outer
really
space.
this is
Ooh,
this is a space
John Kepler.
touring.
Uh,
This was an interplanetary kite craft,
mm,
and it works with radiation of the sun, and it was launched by in
there is-
Japan, yes, aboard a Japanese rocket riding along the main mission of to orbit Venus. I'm thinking that they didn't get to orbit Venus, but actually they proved that this kind of technology using the sun radiation, it can work. And the first time that they saw this
wow.
technology was this German astronomer,
Mm,
Johannes Kepler, that noticed that the comet's tail points
mm.
away from the sun. And he had a hypothesis that the pressure of the sun's light might be responsible for that. So they built all this kind of technology in base of that hypothesis. So it was
Wow, wow.
amazing.
John Kepler, I know that I have read something about him, and when I visited there is an astronaut museum in Hollywood, and right on the top where you see the big sign, huge sign, it's right in that mountain. It's a beautiful place where there's an bicolor and all this kind of thing that you can watch the stars over there. They have statues of all the space astronaut people who created all this beautiful history. So just go there and find more. We really need to find more
Yes,
information
more
about this
about
kind of
this.
people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but it's amazing thing. Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure it's great.
Yeah. Okay, and this, this is very interesting because it has, with all these ideas of transportation, these are 10 great ideas for green transportation infrastructure. As we were mentioning, like when we are trying to save energy, we are going to do some stuff at home, isn't it? Like, but we're thinking on the city or a country that needs to plan things for a green transportation. So they are trying to make a boost for electric vehicles, or trying to encourage the use of electric vehicles. And there's no much right now, like there's not many of these places where they can plug. I'm thinking that there's a lack of these services, and so they're trying to do that. So green highways partnership, it's very interesting how these green partnership, because they are trying to have those using several materials in the construction to prevent metals and toxins from seeping in watersheds, for example. And they are trying to use recycled materials, try to improve and make all the highways and the way that they are built and everything more like a green within their green aspect, isn't it? Like trying
You,
to
you know,
yes.
over the in the state as well too. I think you have seen that for the Green
Uh-huh.
Highway Partnership, they did get the electric vehicle. If you buy electric vehicle, the DMV or the vehicle department give you a free tag to ride over the HOV.
Oh
So
yes, yes, yes. I have
you can
seen that.
get home faster. I was still there. This was in 2012. I was still in the state, and I used to work from Springfield to Washington D.C. It was a holy like an hour of traffic, and it's
Yeah.
only 15 minutes driving. So I
Yes,
got to
and
spend
yeah,
over an hour every
yeah,
day. So I
yeah,
bought. I bought a Camry electric car, and I
yeah,
was so happy just to
yeah.
drive the Camry over the HOV.
Yes.
So
Those
I
are
think we're
lines.
doing a lot of that,
Yeah.
and trying to encourage people to adapt to this new thing. Even just not only, I mean, the us as citizens, the government's doing a lot to encourage people to do
Yeah.
that as well too.
Yes, and also and the HOB for the people that do not know, it's a fast lane, and
Yeah.
also they are encouraging the people to take the HOB, but not just one, okay, not just one. They
Mm.
if there's
The
more of
HOV is
two,
free.
more than
Yeah.
two, yes, two or three
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
So
but
it's not
if
just
you have
one.
electric car, if you have
Yes,
electric car, you can drive on it with. You don't have to have two people with you.
yes,
Just give you a special tag,
yes.
special tag for that.
For
Yeah,
more people, yes. And so
yeah,
they also try to build pedestrian bridges, which it
yes,
seems to me very interesting because it encourages you to just and walk, try to
and
walk, and
cross.
then
Yeah,
instead of taking buses or just go with your own car, just walk. Then they try to have the materials in a very ecological way as well,
mm.
and then make the all new. Okay, what would be the old?
Well,
The old,
when we talk
old
about
fashioned.
materials,
Yeah.
every place you go now, when they used to
What?
give you straw, they don't give you a straw anymore. Plastic straw. They're against the environment. You see
Yeah.
all this
And
paper
yeah.
straw, and then if
And,
you don't drink it faster, the straw's gonna bend.
and for yes, and for transportation, what they do is like
Yeah,
they encourage you to walk.
yeah, that's
Yes.
very good.
No, encouraging thing. And then they do also they're encouraging more bus lanes, okay, because that's an old fashioned way too, trying to have more bus lanes, because sometimes buses here in especially in Texas, we do have that, but in some places they are urbanizations that they do not have these bus. But
Yes, it's not.
if we're thinking about the ecology, I'm thinking that we may want to do that too. Subways are clean, so in a clean way to move from one place to another too. So, in for the smart grow, it's actually later on we will be planning cities, checking on all these facts. Using recyclable materials, using greenways, trying to as we saw by architecture, trying to have more of these places where people can walk and go from one place to another, like in with parks and more greens. Okay, I'm
That's
thinking
cool.
that's nice for this.
Oh yeah,
That is
very
your
cool.
yes. That's how to make your solar panel. Yes, but
So
if
good.
you
With blades or
mhm.
razor blades.
if you if
Yeah.
you want to do that, there's the link is in the bottom of the page as well. So I encourage you to go there, because I
Oh,
have been seeing this video, but you have to do it.
Well,
Yeah.
I have seen this done as well with the container of the soda,
Oh,
the
that's
aluminum soda containers.
oh, that's great. We'll try to
It's
find
more
the
safe if the kids wanted to do something and try this. We don't want them to use the blade because the blade sometimes can be harmful for them.
yeah.
They can cut themselves or whatever. But with the soda cans, that it can be recycling material, and they're doing it as a big board of of solar panels.
Oh,
I would see if I can find that because I tried to search it, but I guess over the so many things that I missed it.
yeah, that would be great to go to the book because we're going to have a book as well. So for
Yes,
the
yes,
14 Pillar Society for Peace, isn't it?
yes.
Okay.
Do you want to read this one?
What's a
Tachyons.
tachyon energy? What's a tachyon energy? Are subatomic particles that travel faster than light. The process of collecting tachyon particle is a higher technology process that infuse physical matter with an increased quantity of tachyon and permanently change the quantum property of atom nuclear, which composed that matter. Oh, the first introduction into physics. Wow. Similar paper on possible of faster than light particle. Wow. This is the first time that I see something faster than light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it
Really
was in
need to watch that.
1967, like
Oh, okay. Okay,
more
great.
than half a century ago. They had this tachyon energy
Yes.
research, which is great. And
See,
sometimes if
I
you
have to
Google,
add to
you
the
can see tachyon everywhere, but it's not the real tachyon. I mean, we are talking about tachyon energy from Joe Wolfenberg.
Mm, wow.
And this is your ad.
Oh yeah, I wrote this ad this morning. Actually, I was asking for some volunteer, if it's possible for the people to come and volunteer with us because we're trying to promote more stuff for the health environment and environmental project that we're working on. So I'll be happy if I can get some people to email me on this culturalars@gmail.com or call me at 70. Actually, here it's in Lebanon. It's the code is 961-706-58909. So I really wanted to thank everyone for participating on this research and all this document. Fariha, I don't know if she's with us today, but I really wanted to send all my gratitude to all the great team, to Jirana, to Naomi, to everyone. Um, it's nevertheless we can talk a lot more about the subject, but I wanted to tell you that all the appliance in the house they're trying to create to get the fan now because it's hot and there is no electricity. I have seen people they're using the solar panel small ones to create to get the fan to work alone, to get the fridge to work alone as well because they don't have too much money to let the whole house to run on the solar panel. So that creating appliance run in solar. So you can buy a separate machine, and like the washer machine just run in the solar panel. So you can put maybe the board and at the glass. At the window and let the sun just run it automatically. So I think even though that we were going down into the economy and after all this hard time that we're having, but people wanted to live. People wanted to create so many things, and I have seen it with my own eyes lately. People doing running the fan on solar panel or running the cooking. Because you can introduce heat, from the heater machines, so they were trying to stop buying gas because the gas is really expensive now and with the economy. So and the fuel as well too. Fuel everybody is getting so expensive. So they're trying to replace it with the solar panel, the sun, to use the cooking. this instead of this electric stove. They use an electric stove instead of gas stove because they just can use the sun to cook. So lately, I think everything that matter, and in every single community. There is a movie I was trying to remember, but I'm sure that I'm gonna list that on the book. The little kid in India, he took his dad's bike, and he made a wind uh, um, thing to get the water out of the ground, so they can grow the crop and they will be able to survive. It's a beautiful
Wow.
movie.
Yes,
It's beautiful.
Forget the name of it. Yeah. So I'm sure that with every single situation we run through it, that God always with us to give us all this great information so we can keep going and keep doing the best for
Yes.
us and for our society and for everybody who's listening to us. I know there's a lot of people like us who love to help other, citizens and be a good citizen for all. And it doesn't matter where you live. If you're in a state or you're in Bolivia or in Lebanon, we're all one nation under God, as we call
One
it.
nation, one
So,
family.
one family, exactly. So,
So
okay.
let me see.
thank
I want
you.
this one to remind you, if you want to be a volunteer with Kausar, it's kausarshaya@gmail.com.
Yes,
kausarshaya@gmail.com. And if you want to work with the university, we will start the university at the end of this year. And we
yes,
do need people who speaks English and many languages actually. You can write directly to me. This is for the university or multi-U 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. The book is already on the website. You can have it in English. And my email is in English, noemi.paimal.education with three O's, 3,000 at gmail.com. So
yes.
thank you so much, and
Thank
see you
you.
next week. We have one more program about fair economy,
Fair economy. Oh,
and that's
fair.
another subject because there
Well,
is a lot to
we
change
should give
when we are ready.
our listeners some kind of homework. Fair economy, it teach you a lot. It teach you a lot when you since you were especially the parents and the way that you were raised, especially the kids in the house, and how you use the money and how you think about money. So it's and nowadays all the kids think about happiness more than the money. So it's the contrary of the old days, which
The
is
contrary.
wonderful. And this is why I'm telling you, the kids are brilliant. So watch, watch us next week with a beautiful subject. I'm gonna tell you great, great information about this topic with a beautiful team. I love you a lot, and see you next
Thank
week.
you.
See you.
Thank you,
Thank
Kautar.
you.
Thank you, Giovanna. Thank you, Fariha, and all the teams. And thank you, everybody watching right now or watching afterwards, because we are all part of this co-reconstruction of a new
Yes,
society. We are the co-creators, and it's from the
absolutely.
heart, and it's with solidarity and with peace. See
Thank
Yes.
you.
you. See you
Thank
next
you. Bye
time.
bye.